Hi, this is Courtney Starhart, and I'm here with Finding the Force Level 1. This is called 4 Steps Into the Vortex, and we're on class 3. For those of you who have started, please remember to read along about the sacred wheel. It's important to go to findingtheforce.com and download it so you can have the foundations for moving forward in this class. Please direct those that are interested to go to this page and also download the guide as a way of getting started. So 4 Steps Into the Force is going to be a 5-week online class, including membership and video classes. You can go to the website and find out more about it when you download your guide. So welcome back. This is class 3, and we want to delve into this process of the West. Here's a quote: "Nothing lasts forever. No one lives forever. Remember that and love." So these classes are about refortification and remembering the divine feminine. So we're re-strengthening things that have existed or kind of predate even the physical existence. The circle is the beginning of everything, and using the circle in a sacred way is something that was very important to Native American people as well as other people around the world. These are some reminders for you. It's really important for you to find a time of day that works well for you and just commit to it. When you establish a healthy habit, then it just kind of carries itself forward. So you need to do 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night. Learn how to quickly let go of things in the outer world by taking deep breaths. And we're going to engage in that right now so that we can be together in a calm and beautiful space. All right. So inhale and exhale. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Inhale down to your hips and exhale slowly again through the nose. Imagine a beautiful light shining down on the top of you, just showering you with infinite potential and peace. It's okay to release every thought, let it pass by like the clouds. The light is always there behind the clouds. So a few more times. The breath is the back door to the consciousness. Every time that we slow down and we really connect with our breathing, we're actually breathing more of our spirit and our light into our body. So a lot of consciousness can be accessed through this simple breath work. Make sure that you do those breathing exercises before you sit down to do your journaling so that you're in a state of higher consciousness. It's not to say that you can't jot down notes at any time of the day, and hopefully you have a journal that's, small enough and handy enough that you can stuff it in your purse or your bag or your car so that you can jot notes down. I keep mine with me all the time, and I really enjoy pulling it out a couple times a day. It's like a gift to myself. It's a way of making sure that you're being heard, at the very least, by yourself. So, these are some of the things that we've done in the journal so far. You should have a very nice diagram like the one on the far left, where you can see north, south, east, and west. Okay, you want to lay on there at the very least the elements as well as the calendar with winter, summer, spring, and fall. You want to leave some bubbles and some space so that you can just kind of freeform and jot down ideas that are connected, like in a bubble diagram if you want to. I put together a couple of different samples there for you of different, applications of the wheel that I use when I train people. The second one right here is an atomic diagram. And you can see from that drawing that there's this direct correlation between the medicine wheel and the atomic structure. So, what we're doing is we're putting ourselves in resonance with all of that which is. All of the material universe is made up of circles and bubbles. And within those bubbles are tinier bubbles, all the way down to the most invisible little thing. So when we align ourselves magnetically in the medicine wheel, we're making a strong structure. Just like you can see here in this beautiful picture of the snowflake. Um, it's a wonderful diagram also because it's marking out the medicine wheel very clearly, and it is also showing us the beauty of the water crystal. Um, so when your water is aligned properly, when you have a good emotional state and you're thinking and feeling beautiful things, then your water crystal, the water molecule, realigns itself. And a lot of what we think and feel is going to determine our health and happiness level. So don't be afraid to go ahead and write something on your water containers. I have love written all over mine, and this is my friends. I love me. Life is beautiful. That impression is being stamped onto the water molecules. So, this is a good time to look into your journal. Just open it up and look and see, have you been using your medicine wheel this week? You can type into the chat box if you're here live, or you can also write down in your journal. Go to the Facebook page for Finding the Force, and you can share there with our friends around the world. So here's a quick review of the sacred wheel. There's east for fire and spring, south for earth and summer, west for water and fall, north for wind and winter. In the center of the wheel, just like the nucleus of the atom, we have yourself. And when you shift in your consciousness, you balance out the physical. There's four legs on the floor. Then you have a table that you can build upwards towards the sky with. And that is what we're doing here. We are training the trainers and we are training spiritual people to be their very best. So it's such an exciting thing to be here. On the right, you can see these wonderful images to the top right of spring, of summer, and winter, and fall. And those are laid right onto the wheel. The north and the south mark the center of the longest day and the longest night, and the east and the west are the equinox. So it was also a calendar as well as categorizational tool. I make up words sometimes. All right. So, in review of the West, we've got water and moon, the ending of the day, harvest, the dream time, the unconscious, and the jaguar. West is complementary to East, just as fire and water as elements are complementary. The West represents maturity and the time in our lives when we're able to start to harvest the fruit of our work. So, one of the wonderful things that we can do in this program is some drum journeying. At this point, you will have advanced to a stage where you've been doing some meditation and you've been doing your personal work. So, it's a wonderful opportunity to take it a little bit deeper. The more you meditate and the better you get at it, the more your brain waves will have a tendency to stay in that level of consciousness. So there are lower, middle, and upper realms, and we're going to get more into this on level 3 of Finding the Force. But for now, we're going to take our first drum journey during this particular lesson. Okay, there are different places that you can go to find drum journeys online, but today we're going to take one as we go through our labyrinth. Here we are. The direction of West serves to evaluate how unconscious feelings and experiences may have limited us or formed our lives. We can also look at achievements to date as adults and or define what type of changes we can make to better our lives, especially emotionally. At this time, Persephone is taking her journey into the underworld and it connects to the unconscious. A lot of the traditional mythology from around the world has to do with stories that help people to elevate their consciousness and to have a good life, to live in harmony. So, as we stepped into our class today, we start in the east with the spring, with fire, and we evoke that. You need to know the direction you're facing and at least think in the direction of east when you think about fire and the rising sun. To the south, we have the earth, we have abundance and physicality. To the west, we have emotions, the unconscious, and diving into the underworld. Today, we're going to be going into the north. And so we want to have all three of those elements balanced out like the other three legs on the table. It's so exciting that you're on the fourth leg of your table now. North is air and winter and ending. It's transformation and the ancestors, the wise ones, planning, thought, and structure. North is the direction above. And so in this system, it's the direction of air. For this reason, I've placed it in the category of winter, which is transformation, elderhood, mentality, planning, wind, winter, and structure. It's the complementary direction of the south, which is the element of earth, when we see youth, passion, and physicality. North is the realm of spirit and of the ancestors in the skies. It's the place of ending, darkness of night, cold of winter, and hibernation. It's like being in a cocoon when everything is so cold outside and dark. We would sit by the fire together. It's a time for weaving, telling stories, and eating the harvest that had been carefully saved, while also keeping enough seeds to replant in the spring. So there comes your element of planning and visioning. When we evaluate our lives from the point of view of the North, we want to look at our life as if it were from death's door and for planning a renewal of life through radical transformation. So this is the last direction on the cross, on the wheel, and it should be used to reevaluate how you think about your life and what things need to die in order to allow the revitalization and rebirth you desire. The dragonfly is an amazing example of how a creature which once lived underwater can become the fastest and most agile creature on earth through a massive and perilous transformation. And that's what we're asking ourselves to have the courage to do, is to go on that journey. Consider the story of the dragonfly and choose your own power ally for this direction. Other power allies for this direction include such themes as the hummingbird and anything that's white. So sometimes people go for polar bears or white buffalo. But my ally is the dragonfly. And here is the story about this dragonfly. Once in a little pond in the muddy water under the lily pads, there lived a little water beetle in a community of water beetles. They lived a simple and comfortable life in the pond with few disturbances and interruptions. Once in a while, sadness would come to the community when one of their fellow beetles would climb the stem of a lily pad and would never be seen again. They knew when this happened, their friend was dead and gone forever. Then one day, one little water beetle felt an irresistible urge to climb up that stem. However, he was determined that he would not leave forever. He would come back and tell his friends what he had found at the top. When he reached the top and climbed out of the water onto the surface of the lily pad, he was so tired and the sun felt so warm that he decided he must take a nap. As he slept, his body changed, and when he woke up, he had turned into a beautiful blue-tailed dragonfly with broad wings and a slender body designed for flying. So fly he did. And as he soared, he saw the beauty of a whole new world and a far superior way of life to what he had never known existed. Then he remembered his beetle friends and how they were thinking by now he was dead. He wanted to go back and tell them and explain to them that he was now more alive than he had ever been. His life had been fulfilled rather than ended, but his new body would not go down into the water. He couldn't go back and tell his friends the good news. Then he understood that their time would come when they too would know what he knew. So he raised his wings and flew off into his joyous new life. Four M apps order you. The M apps are also games that allow you to have fun and relax while debugging. These mandala apps debug and order your mind computer to allow for high-speed transfers from your higher self. So let's try it right now. Begin with the breath. Inhale and exhale. When you're doing it on your own, make sure to do that 3 to 10 times until you're completely grounded in your body and relaxed. You're inhaling cosmic light and circulating it through your body in order to water these seeds that we're planting. These M apps are also like seeds of consciousness, and you need to water them with your attention and with the cosmic light or chi, prana, that you breathe in through your nose. There are little pranic receptors at the back of your nose, and when you inhale in a special way, making a slight sound, you're inhaling prana into these receptors, and it's like filling up a fountain. It begins to circulate, and it gets rid of the garbage and allows you to be the best version of you. So let's begin again by breathing. And here in the north, we're going to go on our first drum journey. When you feel like your consciousness has shifted enough, you can open your eyes and begin to see yourself ambulating around this labyrinth. It's okay to use your finger or a pointer. I'm going to continue to play for you for a few minutes as you walk around. When you're ready, start to imagine coming full circle in that medicine wheel, and begin to consider what things will be like when you reemerge like the dragonfly and you begin to see things from a higher perspective as you come back to the east. As homework, I'd like to ask you to take a look at HeartMath Institute and understand the basics of what is an electromagnetic field, as well as what a torus and a Merkaba are. Electromagnetic fields represent the north because they're the unseen structure, like the scaffolding of manifestation. How does this work in your life as far as making your dreams come true? Well, consider the story of the dragonfly and choose your own ally for this direction for the scaffolding and structure of what you would like to manifest. It's the electromagnetic fields that actually generate reality. And because electrons are in no concrete place at any particular time, they exist in a cloud of probabilities. So all you have to do is create the appropriate electromagnetic field or harmonic that will attract that which you truly desire. Your homework assignment for the North is to write in your journal, listing the qualities that we've listed for the North, as well as your personal thoughts and feelings for the questions below. These super tool questions are a little hint of what we're going to be doing in other levels, where we use the wheel for personal manifestation and evaluation and harmonization. So, the first question here is, what state of mind do I have around death? A lot of people's lives in this world circulate or revolve around the fear of death and the need to avoid pain and think that they will actually live forever if they have enough things or if they have this or that. People often don't want to confront the fact that they are going to die and transform. So, what are our plans that we want to achieve and passions and goals before dying? Once we accept that we are going to transition out of our physical body at some point, then life has more meaning on a daily. Since life is spiritual as well as physical, what am I willing to give up in order to thrive? We might have to give up beliefs. We may have to give up unexamined assumptions, baggage. There are all kinds of ways to lighten up the load so that we can fly and rebirth. So I want to say thank you. This is 4 Steps into the Vortex, Level 1 of Finding the Force. It was presented by Courtney Starhart Hale, also known as Urban Shaman. You can check us out on Facebook, and we'd love to see you. We have a group called Finding the Force, and you can follow the link to that. Please go to findingtheforce.com and make sure that you download your free manual. And we're going to be updating the versions of the manual as we go along and thrive and change as a community. Blessings and beauty. Bye for now.